Alt, if you need to miss class in college, the easiest way to get a doctor's note is having a concussion. Also, diarrhea related problems are good too. Doctors will write a note if you say you need one for school and you've got a stomach bug. And it doesn't usually invite many questions from faculty. Edit grammar. Also make sure to take a laxative and use the faculty bathroom if anyone doubts you. Save the laxative. Just tell them to prove that you don't have diarrhea. Best case scenario, they finger your asshole. Worst case scenario, you need to improv with a bowl of Cocoa Puffs for an hour. SLPT, slam your head against the wall until you have a bruise to make the story more believable to skeptical doctors. That is a super life pro tip. Thanks. I did that once with our family's van door. Slammed that thing real good onto my head trying to close it from the inside. I was fine. Are you though? Question mark. If they said they had slammed a car door on their head after their head injury, I'd be worried, since it just seems like normal behavior for them. No wait, I guess I'm still a little worried. My college professors didn't give a fuck if you showed up or not. They figured that you were the one paying for the class. Whether you showed up or not is a you problem. One kid only showed up for day 1 and the test dates and passed. Professor here can confirm. If you want to pay $100k and not learn shit, it's no skin off my nose. I wish more professors were like you. I've experienced ones who view missing class as a personal insult to them. FR here, I'm showing up one day, passing every HW and test, and failing for attendance. Guess I picked the wrong school. That's what my teachers in HS always told me college was like. Former community college adjunct from a lifetime ago here. I used to get so many dramatic excuses like my grandma lost her house in a fire last night, etc. I had so much respect and gave a complete pass to the one young man who emailed me and said, MS, Tamia. I don't know if you follow college basketball, but Team X is playing Team Y tonight and I cannot miss this, so I won't be in class. Apostrophe. Is this better than watching it on my phone under the table with the volume off? Because I definitely have pulled that for Monday Night Football. Not op, but in the university instructor. If you're absent, I won't think much of it. I don't really care what the reason is. People have to miss class occasionally. That's fine. If you show up and stare at your phone the whole time, and yes, I will know, I will think you are very rude and won't be inclined to be forgiving if you ever need something. Here's my line of thinking. I was there taking notes and interacting in the class. I feel like football is slow enough for it not require my complete attention. Like it's a once a week night class and I still took 5 pages of notes that day. It's really just rude and disrespectful at it. Apparently I'm just old and it has been a while since I took a class and had no idea things were now so laid back. Every time we were hungover in college we just went to the campus doctor and the hangover symptoms all coincide with flu/cold symptoms. E.g. headache, nausea, fatigue, throwing up, feeling of coldness. Doctors aren't stupid. They probably just remembered all the years they would wake up with a hangover wishing someone would be able to write them a note. Knowing some doctors, it was probably that morning. Medical definition of an alcoholic: drinking more than a doctor. Wait, so no one's actually alcoholic? Doctors would never say on a doctor's note why you were at the doctor. It's against privacy laws. If you want to show them your private hospital instructions and diagnosis, that is another thing. But doctor's notes never say why you were in the hospital. So you can literally go to the doctor for anything and say you have a concussion. It's against privacy laws. While I agree with your comment, it's good to keep in mind that this might not be the case in every country. Reddit is an international website with loads of users outside of the US that this statement might not apply to, though it should. Totally true. Did not think of that. Hey, I get it. Most of Western online content is either Rus-based or at least in English. It's easy to grow accustomed to that. You did a hell of a job resolving this. U/disorder. Also, us-based work can't adjuster here. A lot of clinics will issue a one-page work/school excuse with the diagnosis and accompanying restrictions. An excuse note that says concussion without loss of consciousness. Please excuse from work/school for 3 days. And avoid prolonged screen exposure is pretty standard. Again, just in the US, your international results may vary. Closed bracket. Doctor here. If you go to the doctor/student health center to be examined, be upfront with your intention of getting a school/work excuse. The worst thing is when someone comes in with an odd complaint and I have to spend an extended amount of time taking a history and examining everything just because the symptoms the patient gave are so far-fetched and not adding up. Only at the end of the exam for them to say, by the way, I need a school excuse. I don't think I can take my exam today. Let your intentions be known so you don't hurt your doc's head. Deleted. Yeah. You could probably even get a Xanax prescription for sleep if you say anxiety is what made you oversleep. Sometimes I get nervous on airplanes. Nervous, yes. First time. No, I've been nervous lots of times. Apostrophe. You can also get fake doctor's notes online. And there's some law in place preventing employers to contact and see workers' medical records. However, this is probably illegal. No. Doctors can verify if a note is genuine. They can't verify or discuss specific medical problems though. An employer is free to contact a doctor and verify if you were there without breaking HIPAA laws. Edit. Hair 69. Oh. In Canada, the fact you're a patient is also protected if you request it to be, though it's rarely enforced. There are times when the fact you're a patient somewhere is medical information, but the employee just voluntarily told the employer that they are a patient by giving the employer a note from that doctor. I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the US, if I were to call a doctor to verify a note from an employee, which I do not do, the procedure is to say that I have this note from X for Y, and can they confirm that X wrote it? That's it. And that's not giving me any info on the patient. It's giving me info on the doctor. You have attendances in American colleges, universities, and NZ couldn't give fucks if you never showed up. People here just go for tests/exams. Half the classroom is empty near the end of the semester. If you fail and end up working in fast food, they don't care about you. Kinda sad, but it's your choice. It depends on the professor. Some are really strict and some cold and care less. Laughs in German university, where you can decide whether you show up at all. Too tired, don't come. Just make sure to learn the stuff at home. That's most American colleges too. The attendance policy is decided by the professor. Some studies have shown students who go to class get better grades, so I can see why a program would want their kids showing up to class and graduating on time. But still, most classes do not require attendance. Name literally any college like this, so I can transfer there. If I miss more than 4 classes, I automatically fail the course. Total ripoff. Should not be legal if you can do the work in my college Mayo. I had a calc class with a professor who would upload all their notes online. We used past exams and graded very generously. A 10/25 can be a B depending on the class average. 6 out of the 30 people in my lecture would show up, and some days I'd skip as well, still passed the class with a B. Make a throwaway so you can name the actual school, please. Or just take a picture of a doctor's note and for each use Photoshop a different date on it. Edit. Didn't know this is illegal, so maybe don't take this advice. Wait. Who needs a doctor's note for college? I skipped half my classes and needed no doctor's notes. This was 2 years ago. My uni has under 20 kids a class and is very participation based, so I would. People who take classes that only last 5 weeks. Lab courses. Honestly, the classes I did the best in are the ones that sort of forced attendance. It's way too easy to skip classes otherwise. Those bastards legitimately got a concussion and those bastards gave me 1 day off. I even went to the hospital and the hospital didn't give me a pass for any days off school, and I couldn't physically stand upright for longer than an hour a day. I couldn't read or I'd vomit. I couldn't be in light. I just woke up, went to my mandatory class for the day, and went to sleep. It was 2 weeks before I could do anything else. Stupid fucking for-profit universities. Hopefully this works for someone. University is hard and your students need the breaks. What kind of college takes attendance? You're paying to be there. It's not forced on you. If you miss classes, that's on you. Why do colleges babysit? I agree with you. It sucks to have an uptight professor. PS happy cake day. Oh shit. 5 years today. Woohoo. Yeah, but most professors don't give a shit. Do they really take attendance at American universities? There are over 4,000 colleges in the US. They don't all have the same policies. My university did not take attendance. Don't you pay to go to college? Because of a spotty high school transcript, I needed to show my top choice university that I could maintain a 3.5 GPA for one semester at state school before they would accept me. Among the 4 classes I took that semester was a botany class because I was 19 years old and wanted to grow weed. However, I learned nothing as my friend and I would get stoned and miss the first half of class every week. Grade slipped to a C and would ruin my average. So 2 weeks before finals I started seeing the school shrink. Every session I would show more and more signs of being phobic of botany, as he put it. By the time finals rolled up, he wrote a personal letter to the dean, expressing concerns about my personal safety if I should have to take the final exam. The committee approved a late class drop. It worked and I got my 3.5. A little fucked up, I know. My university does not have any kind of excused absences, unless they are university sponsored events, read, sports games. The attendance grading, or lack thereof, is left up to the profs, where you can get some pretty lax ones or some assholes. Depends on the professor. I think it's pretty bullshit there are no medical excuses. You could be in the hospital, and if your prof is a dick, you're fucked. For the amount of money you're probably paying per course, the real help is to go to class and get your money's worth from a recent college grad. You professors require doctor's notes when you miss class. If you don't show up you miss class. It isn't high school. What kind of college class has mandatory attendance? That's absurd. I had a lot of classes that had a rule. If you miss more than 2 days then your grade is dropped an entire letter grade. Not technically mandatory attendance, but you really did not want to skip. That seems very bizarre as a rule. Is this in the US? I went to a public university for engineering, and none of my classes had any rules like that. Yes, it was at a public university in Georgia. Honestly, if it's like work, having a job where they let you take a day off no question asked makes me happier and more willing to work. I rarely take days off. Even when I'm sick, I don't have much human contact at work so it's fine. But once or twice a year I'll really need a mental day off. I assure you, if I didn't get them, I probably would be in a poor mood for weeks and my productivity would drop. Just let the worker or student take a day off stress-free. They'll be happier and most likely less likely to take advantage. Of course there is a limit. But a day here and there over a long time, that should absolutely be fine. Mental health is just as important as physical. I had to get defibrillated in college and had an exam the next day. Professor made me go through a dean, even though he could have pushed back my exam one day on his own. Ass. Strict classes that you pay for. You're the kind of lazy person that puts effort into being lazy. I faked a migraine once because I'd missed too many early morning art classes. My prof said he got them all the time and then gave me some of his medication and said try this next time. Honestly, if you take the time to get a doctor's note it doesn't matter what it's for. If you email your teacher saying you think you have, they already heard it before. Get the doctor's note and it doesn't matter what it is for. If you need to miss class then just don't go. You're paying for them. You can come and go as you please. Any professor who implements an attendance policy should be dropped. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.